did send out a newsletter this week of a mix of ministry news, and we keep a watching brief on what's being reported out there in the general scientific news.
All good.
Here are just the headlines, and then afterwards we'll show you how you can. We've made it easier to sign up to the newsletter so that if you'd like to be on our mailing list, you can sign up to our various news sources. So this was this week's newsletter, and our main banner here is this montage of a living bird, an oyster catcher, and part of a mural that we have up at Jurassic Ark showing birds and dinosaurs together. And then we have this wonderful pavement that we made at Jurassic Ark showing bird footprints and dinosaur footprints together. And that is actually based on real fossil footprints out there in the real world. And one of these was reported this year, or this fairly recently rather. You've heard of early birds. Well, here are some of the earliest birds according to the evolutionary timetable in the southern hemisphere. And a couple of reports have come in about bird footprints, one in Australia and one in South Africa. And the interesting thing is that the evolutionists are not particularly happy about finding these because they don't fit into the evolutionary timetable, and particularly the ones in South Africa are supposedly 60 million years before birds are supposed to have evolved. So here we have a problem that's quite common in the scientific news, in that the real evidence, in other words, what was actually found, does not fit with the story that's being told by the evolutionists. And that's one of the reasons that we do report on these things, because we help people to see what was actually discovered and what is the story they're telling about it, and how to look at the actual evidence from a biblical point of view, so that we don't need to be put off by the evolutionary stories that are being seen. And especially with this report, it was definitely a triumph of evidence versus evolutionary wishful thinking. So do have a look at that. Now, Joseph, you studied in your science degree, you studied paleobiology. Well, we've got a report about paleobionics in the newsletter, and paleobionics is a new area of research where engineers are getting together with fossil hunters, and they're designing robots based on fossils. Now, fossils, of course, being dead, tend not to move around. So what these engineers have done is that they have studied this particular fossil with the help of some paleontologists, and they have designed a robot which moves along the ground according to what the paleontologists say, that this particular strange-looking creature, which is now extinct, moved along the ground using this long tail. And the interesting thing is it took a lot of clever engineers to actually design this using a new type of robotics called softonics, or using soft materials that are flexible rather than rigid. It's very clever, actually. But then always in the secular newspapers and even in the scientific papers, you have to do your little bit of homage to evolution. So there was a comment to say that, well, this will help us to understand both engineering and evolution. Now, there's a bit of a mismatch there, because engineering is the very opposite of evolution. So you can read our comments there and read about this interesting thing that's been designed, that was definitely a creation and it didn't evolve. Now, also in the newsletter, we have some reports about our own excavations and research. This is something that's been going on at Jurassic Ark, where we've been making rock layers, but back in 2011, a few rock layers were made for us by a flood. Much to our frustration, they actually reburied a whole lot of fossils that we had dug up. But anyway, it's turned out to be to our advantage, because when we dug through this deposit that had been made by the 2011 flood, we found some rock layers, very much like the rock layers that we make in our strata machine, and you can read about that, and also very much like rock layers that are out in the real world. And in fact, some people who commented about the photos that we sent around said, "Oh, it looks like the Grand Canyon, or it looks like some other rock layer that's out in the real world." So you can see a few photos of those and a bit of background. And we also have news about what people are doing, so you can read a little bit about Joseph and his colleagues' wonderful time in Oswestry, uh, promoting the Creation Museum at a community event there, and various other things. So we have made it easier to sign up for the newsletter. So if we can
Just a little bit of an update from me. I've been hard at work making it even easier for you to sign up to the newsletter. So I'll stick something on the screen for you. So we've basically consolidated all of our main links and newsletter signups and websites and all that jazz into one easy link for you. So all you need to do, get your smartphone out and get that camera app open and scan that QR code, and that'll take you to our link in bio page, where you can get access to all of our lovely links. You can even type in that URL as well into your search bar. Goes to the exact same website. You can do it on a phone or you can do it on your computer. Same website, works in the same exact way. And then basically all you do is you just sign up and you get access to all that lovely news as and when it happens. And if there's something even massively groundbreaking, we'll probably even send out a special newsletter. But I'll put something in the chat for you now. So there you go. And I'll stick that up on the screen once again. So just in case you didn't quite get your camera app open for you, you can have a little scan of that. We'll put that up later on in the show as well. So that's just me, and hopefully we can make it even easier for you to sign up. We'd love to have you signed up. It keeps you up to date with all things creation research, and it really does help us out.